welcome back. This is part 3 in the Global Game Jam Next Audio 101 tutorials. And in this tutorial, what we're going to talk about are where to find sounds. We're going to talk about sound libraries, recording on your own, and synthesis. Then we're going to talk about customizing sounds from sound libraries, where we import, we layer, we edit, we do some simple effects. So let's get started. Where to find sounds. So there are 3 basic places to find sound. One is to record them on by yourself. Another is sound libraries. Another one is to synthesize them yourself. And each one has sort of pros and cons. So let's go through each one. Now, sound libraries is where we're going to start. The advantages of using sound libraries, and there are both sort of free libraries and paid libraries. It's easy to look up sounds and download them via sound websites. Sometimes it's challenging to find the right sounds, especially if you're looking for rights-free sounds. Now, this gets into what you can and can't use. Some libraries are paid, meaning that you have to pay for the sounds, and some libraries have a Creative Commons license where you can use those and modify them and change them. Each site is going to have its own specific set of rules about what you can do. For if you're making games that aren't ever going to be released and sold, then you don't have to worry about it as much. But if you are going to release your game to an audience, either small or large, then you need to be concerned about, do you own the rights to these sounds to use them? So we'll talk about that once we get to some of these sites. The other thing about sound libraries is that other people making games might be using the same exact sounds as you. So your game becomes like less unique and a little bit more generic if you're using sounds from libraries. The second way is to record your own, to get a recording setup and record your own sounds. Now, there are a bunch of advantages of this, which include the sounds are uniquely yours. No one else is going to have them, which makes your game more unique. So it's important to remember that. But it's harder because you have to pull out a microphone, you have to have some gear, you have to go find a space to record. It takes a while to set that up. It takes a longer amount of time than just going to the web and finding a sound that you need. And some sounds may be dangerous to record, right? If you need to record a tiger, you might be able to do that in a zoo. Or explosions, it could be dangerous. So just be careful when choosing to record, and make sure that you're safe if you choose to go this way. And actually, in the next Audio 101 in part 4, that's what we really explore. We explore recording and how to do it. And so you can look forward to that in the next tutorial. All right, and the other way to do it is to use synthesizers and synthesis to create your own sounds. And I'm going to show an example of that a little bit later. But this can be time-consuming, because it takes a long time to learn synthesis and things like that. But sometimes you can find easy apps that make sounds for you. And I'm going to show one a little bit later. Okay, customizing sounds from sound libraries. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to actually pull some sounds from these sound libraries, and then we're going to use different ways of manipulating them. And we're going to layer sounds, we're going to change pitch, and speed up and slow down. Those are the big 3 ways to kind of manipulate sounds to make it a little bit yours, to make it a little bit more unique by pulling a sound from the internet and you have an explosion, but it needs to be bigger. So what are ways that you can use to make it bigger? And we're going to use Audacity for this. There are many other types of effects that we're going to explore in tutorial number 5. Things like delay and reverb, distortion, chorus, flanging, etc., etc. All right, so let's take it for a spin. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show some sites. So I'm going to stay in Chrome, and I'm going to show some sites where you can download sounds. So FreeSound is one of them. You can register. When you register, it allows you to download sounds. Now, it's important wherever you find sounds to look at what the licensing agreements are. And so sometimes that might be a little difficult to find. Like like, are these, can I use this sound? Can I not use this sound? So there generally is maybe a terms of use page, um, intellectual property, who owns the sound, and stuff like that. So be careful. So let's go ahead and look up a sound. Let's say we want to look up explosion. So we will type in explosion. I don't want to go out and record an explosion because it's a little bit of a pain. I'm going to log in so I can download these sounds. I already have a login. So and this is freesound.org. It's probably one of the most common sites to download sounds. And I'm going to type in explosion. Let's try this one. So let's say that one is the one I like. What I can do is we can download that. I can click on it like this and then download it. Now, this is where we'll say what the license is. And this work is licensed under attribution non-commercial license, which means that you can download it and use it in your own projects and mess around with it. Some will be where you have to, so attribution means that you have to credit Ryan Snook of the person in your game eventually. So keep track of the sounds that you download and things like that. So I'm going to download this, and here it is on my hard drive. And then I'll go over to Audacity here, create a new project. And here's Audacity. We looked at this in the last tutorial. And what I can do is go to my downloads folder and pull that sound that I just created and drop it into Audacity. And again, it's going to say, what do you want me to do with the file? I'm going to copy the file, and here it is. So it's copying it into the project. In fact, I'm going to save the project, saving the project, and I'm saving the whole project, not just the sound itself. And I'm going to put that on my desktop, and I'm going to call it Explosions. Now on my desktop, let's go to my desktop and see what it saved out here. You can see that it has Explosions is the main audio Audacity file, and then it keeps track of any sounds I import into the data file. So this is what makes up an Audacity project, are both the document file and Explosions data. All right, so before I mentioned that I was going to manipulate this in some way, and the big three are layering, changing the pitch, and changing the speed. So we're going to do a few of those things. I'm going to do layering last. So I'm going to take this sound, and right now it sounds like this. It's super loud. If I want to attenuate that, there are a couple different ways to do that. I can actually lower it here, or we can go to effects and we can choose one of these effects. Now to change the volume, we could go to amplify and change it to, we're going to choose like -6 dB. Actually, I'm going to do like -9 dB. And you can see that got smaller. And when I play it, it sounds less in volume, lower in volume. So I'm going to select all of it again, and I'm going to try a few other types of effects. I'm going to try a change pitch. And changing pitch, there are musical pitches which you can go by, or you can just change the frequency. So I'm going to actually make it a higher pitch frequency. So I'm going to put it up about an octave or so, like that. And now it will play like this. Now, this sound effect sounds pretty weird. And when you pitch and modulate sounds, sometimes they will change to a point where you don't like them, and I didn't like that, so I'm going to undo that. The reason that didn't work is because when I tried to change the pitch, it actually changed the pitch and tried to keep the tempo the same. Now there's a few things that I can do. I can change the speed. Now if I change the speed, it will actually change both the pitch and the speed, which is sometimes useful. Depending on what program you use, speed, pitch, tempo can be used, are used differently. In Audacity, changing the speed will change both the pitch and the speed. So I'm going to multiply it by I'm going to have a speed multiplier by 2, like this. And this is what it sounds like now. So shorter, maybe I want it even shorter. So I'm going to go ahead and change it again and change the speed. And I'm going to go up another, basically half it again. You can see that both the pitch and the speed changed. And so now I'm manipulating, I'm making it a little bit mine. So let's try layering. So let's go ahead and copy this and create another new track. I could do that with the tracks menu. Another new stereo track and paste that down here. So here it is. You want to paste it at the front. And what I want to do with just this part is I want to actually take that back down. So I'm going to change the speed and take it down, say, to 50, actually 25. Oops, wrong way. Let me change the speed again. Change the speed, and what I want to do is actually speed multiplier. So I'm going to take it down to 0.25, and now it's much longer, so it's like a quarter of what it was. So it's multiplying that times 4. So now when I play these both back, actually I'm going to mute the top track. I'm going to play the bottom one. Now when I play them together, and maybe I like that, or maybe I want to get rid of a little bit of this so it doesn't quite as loud, so I'm just editing out the middle, then play it again. That's kind of nice. I might like that. I'm going to clean it up a little bit and take this end part here and maybe do a fade here. So what I'll do is there is some fading that we can do right in here. We can just fade this out like that. So now when I play it, kind of a nice sample that I have. And what I'll do is I'll export that. So, and it's also different, right? If we play the sound and go back to the original sound that I downloaded here, now this is going to be a lot louder, right? So I changed it quite a bit, but now it's mine. No one has. It's not technically mine. I still have to credit Ryan for this sound in my game, but I manipulate it so that it is more unique than Ryan's sound. And lastly, I want to show you this site, which is bfxr.net. This is a really cool little app for making arcade sounds. It is awesome. I already downloaded it for Mac, and I will bring it up and show you what it looks like. It's in my applications folder. Here it is. And it's great for making little arcade sounds, and you don't have to attribute anyone, or you could attribute BFXR because it's so awesome. So let's say you need a pickup and coin sound. You could just click pickup coin, and it would give you a pickup coin sound. And every one that I play, it will actually keep a record of it. So there was one, the double one, the second one that I played. That one. I really like that one. So let's go ahead and export that as a wave to my disk. And I'll actually just put it into my desktop folder. And here it is, right here. And I can play it from my Finder. It also has many other sort of templates, like laser shoot. And I keep pressing it. It's going to give me different varieties. And it keeps the list of each variation that I did down here. So jumping. My favorite one is randomized because you can make some really awesome, crazy sounds with it. Sometimes they don't sound like anything, but sometimes you'll come up with like a cool explosion sound or something like that. You can also mutate your sound, which means to modify it a little bit. So if I make a jump sound and then I mutate it, it's mutating it just a little bit. And again, it's keeping the record of each one down here. So I have this pickup coin sound, which is really great. I'm also going to, so that's bfxr.net. So I hope to see you in part 4 again. I'm Michael Sweet.